Hi, I'm Jerome D. Love, founder of the Texas Black Expo.
I spent a year interviewing entrepreneurs, athletes, and thought leaders, people who have built real sustainable wealth, to uncover what separates those who struggle from those who scale. In this series, you'll learn how money actually works, how wealth is created in the real world, and how you can apply the same principles to transform your financial future. Join us on a journey as we explore what is rich.
While we're here in Atlanta, we decided to visit the TSP conference, Traffic, Sales, and Profit, and we're going to interview the co-founders, Lamar and Ronnie Tyler. They're doing an amazing job. They put together this amazing network of individuals that are trying to build their businesses and create wealth. So tell me a little bit about TSP. What was the impetus behind founding the organization and what you guys are doing?
Sure, like TSP actually started with a previous business that we had called blackandmarriedwithkids.com. We ran the largest African-American marriage and parenting site on the web. We had a Facebook page with 540,000 people. We had about 300,000 people, unique readers coming to the website every single month, right? So we're doing about 1 million people a quarter because they wanted information and insights on how to have better marriages and relationships. But as we grew that, people saw me and Ronnie go from husband and wife in a corner of their bedroom in Southern Maryland outside of Washington, D.C. to now they got an office, to now they got an employee, to now they got a team. And what happened is people kept coming back and saying, can you teach me how to do what you're doing, right? Because we're getting a lot of press. Can you show me how to build a business? Can you show me how to sell? And that really was the beginning from, December 2007, we started Black and Married with Kids, to 2015 when we started Traffic, Sales, and Profit. And later, exited and sold that first brand because TSP was growing so fast, we could just focus on helping the entrepreneurs that we help today.
What I love about that is a lot of times people start businesses because they're excited or passionate. Mm-hmm. You saw a problem and you listened to your audience and then you provided a solution. So talk about some of the solutions that your audience gets here at TSP, those that are trying to grow their business or whatever it is. What do they get out of this conference?
Right. Besides the fact that they get community, because entrepreneurship can be so lonely, they get the best business advice, the best speakers, the best experts to pour into them. We're showing them how to grow and scale their businesses, into how to get consistent, predictable revenue into their businesses. A lot of our businesses are side hustles or solopreneurs. In a TSP business, we're going to have them grow their business. We're going to have them impact the community, hire from within their community, and just get that revenue.
What's the key, do you think, to a TSP business and the level of success that they're seeing?
That's a great question. It boils down to 3 things. First thing is mindset, like the way I think about my business. Most businesses in general, and Black businesses particularly, are too small because they just don't think big enough. I say all the time, if you want to build a $100,000 business, $100,000 in your business is not like $100,000 on your job, right? But we don't know that till we get it. So $100,000 is a great milestone. It means I got product market fit. What do I sell? Who do I sell it to? How do I sell it? But once we get the milestone, the destination is we got to build that business bigger. So like Ronnie said, we can create systems and team around it so that we don't create a new job for ourselves. And that new job be a whole lot worse than the old job, because at least the old job, we had what? Benefits,
yes.
Vacation
time.
We was complaining about working 50 hours a week. A lot of self-employed entrepreneurs working double that, right, if not triple. So just clarity around it. Besides mindset, then they need strategy. What are the specific steps and things we teach them how to do? And then last piece, right, is execution. Like no matter how you think about it, no matter if you know what to do, you got to be able to go out and actually execute. And again, that's where that community comes in.
And this documentary is called What is Rich? And we're really trying to define what rich is. Now, the Houston Chronicle did an article, and it was based upon a Charles Schwab survey. And they said that it takes $2.3 million to be considered rich. How would you define rich?
That's a great question. I would define rich. I'm not even sure if it's a specific number, but whatever the number is, I want everybody to just think bigger than that, right? Because again, I think we think too small. So if the number is 2 million, I would want people, a lot of times I'm like, hey, how can you get to at least 5 million net worth, right? And if you get to a bigger number, knowing that sometimes things can go wrong, knowing that sometimes you can get hit with something that you weren't expecting, you can fall back, but still not fall out. And even when we talk about what riches and wealth, when we talk to our entrepreneurs a lot of times, they get really good at making money, but we tell them making money does not mean that you're building wealth. Two totally different things. So how can we take our business revenue and then, build that, protect it, and pass it down, and almost also leave the focus that we have on generational wealth, and instead we talk about dynastic wealth. A generation is 25 to 30 years. Generational wealth means I leave something to my kids, and my kids may leave something, or have something left to leave to the grandkids. There's 2 generations. Dynastic wealth means hundreds of years. Dynastic wealth means if I leave something, there's someone that will never meet me, never ever see me in person, but they'll know my name. And Ronnie, what's the one reason they would know my name?
Because you left them something, because you impacted them. Yes.
What does money mean to you after that? Once you have money, your security needs is taken care of. What does money really mean to you at this point?
Yeah, and to me, money is a tool, right? It's a tool for, and again, like we have material things. It's not that's not it. To me, it's really a tool for impact. How can I impact other people? And impacting other people may be, hey, you know what? There are natural disasters going on in different places in the country or the world. But people say, hey, we don't really care about money. Money's not important. It is, because somebody loses their house and I got money. I can create a place for them to live or set them up somewhere. Our community is plagued with nonprofits. I'm like, if we get one more nonprofit, right, that don't have no type of funding or impact, but if we have the money, like we've done here, over the years, our community together at these conferences have raised nearly $500,000 that have gone into the pockets of nonprofits that are directly in our communities, directly impacting the people. So to me, that's the real use of money. It's a tool. Everyone can choose how they actually use the tool. What is the tool for? It could be a tool for good, a tool for bad, a tool for doing nothing with just hoarding. But more of us, especially in our community, need it to use it because we like to serve people. But it's way easier to serve somebody if we serve them from the overflow instead of serving from a place of lack.
Ronnie, you have anything you'd like to add to that?
I mean, I like that. I think it's impact. I think it gives me choice. It gives me power to be able to do the things that I need to do. And so, yeah, I agree with that.
I heard you say something earlier. You talked about a lot of people think if you have a $300 million business that everything is okay. It's not that you don't have gaps, I believe the term you said. Yes. It's just a different gap. So what do you say to all those people that's struggling and they think that if they get to the magic level or Mark Cuban or whatever, that everything will be okay? What would you say to them?
So at every level, there are new issues. So don't imagine that there aren't as you reach up. But the main indicator and the first step to changing, what happens in your life is changing your environment. Getting in rooms like this, right? Hearing from people like a Janice Brown Howard, so that you say, if a black woman from Tarboro, North Carolina, can build a $4 billion+ business, graduating from an HBCU, why can't I?
So Lamar, you're very charismatic. I've seen you move the crowd out there. Tell me what goes through your mind when you're coming through that curtain and there's thousands of people out there that's hanging on your words, that's wondering what you're gonna say. Tell me what goes through your mind to get them engaged and fired up.
Yeah, what goes through my mind is before I take the stage, I always say that I'm about to change somebody's life. If I show up, I gotta do my part, right? If I show up correctly, if I can articulate my thoughts, if I can communicate in a way that engages them, I can change somebody's life, but I gotta do my part to bring them in. And the other thing is, the rooms I'm speaking in is not normally rooms of people that are, rich themselves and hugely wealthy. A lot of times there are people in that room that made a sacrifice to be there. And it could have been a financial sacrifice, it could be a time sacrifice, it could be, I had to take time off from my job, time away from my kids. So whenever I speak anywhere, my stage or other stages, what I'm thinking about is, I want to serve you at such a high level that this one conversation was worth everything you had to go through to get it.
Now, I know there had to be a lot of doubters and haters. I hate to use that as a buzzword now, but there are a lot of doubters out there. Ronnie, how did you deal with that?
So the first thing I think of is what Lamar always says, is you don't share your vision with people that aren't visionary, right? And so sometimes I just smile and, nod my head, but we have a vision, we have a plan, we have a purpose, and as long as we're aligned, we're good. And so sometimes I listen. Sometimes people doubt, not because they're hating, but out of fear. Maybe they can't imagine these things for their life, or they can imagine how we can execute, and so they want me to stay safe, and they're doing that out of concern. But we have a vision and we have a goal, and so we just kind of stick to it and lean on each other.
Yeah. So last question, what's next for TSP and the brand? Where are we going next?
That's a great question, because where we want to go is global, right? The last 2 years we've been speaking and doing things with some partners in London and the UK. We had Vusi Timbukwayo here this week, so we were talking about potentially going over and doing some things in South Africa. We got an upcoming trip in the spring to Ghana. So what we realized is that the information that we share with Black business owners in the States is just as powerful, if not even more powerful, in other countries across the world. We want to expand what we're doing and share the good information about building businesses and how a great business can not only change the life of the owner, but change the lives of the people that the owner employs, the owner serves, and the owner connects with.
One other thing I will ask, and I'll state, I founded the Texas Black Expo. It's the largest African-American empowerment festival in the state of Texas. And our vision is to create wealth within underserved Black communities. And unfortunately, every year when our event comes around, we'll get calls, emails from people telling us we're racist because we're trying to help Black people. What if there was a Texas White Expo? One of the things I like about what you guys have done, you built this community. It's clear on helping Black people. There's not Black in the title. Even though I don't think it's anything wrong with us doing something to help our community, why is that needed? Why are more TSPs needed? Why are more Texas Black Expos needed?
Well, we need intentional actions to reverse what was done to us intentionally. So it's not going to come just by accident or that we hope for it. My father went through Jim Crow. I'm directly impacted, right? And so we need intentional, direct efforts in order to bridge the gap. And so that's why it's needed.
Yeah. So they say a rising tide lifts all boats. Well, if your boat is 50 feet higher than mine, we rise, you still got 50 feet, gap between me and you. Yeah. So as Ronnie said, with our original brand, Black and Married with Kids, we get the same thing. What if it was White and Married with Kids? I said every publication and website is White and Married with Kids. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that didn't get beyond us, but I think the main thing, no matter what the outside noise is, for us to stay focused on the people that we serve. Yeah. So I don't really care what other people think. I don't really care what other people got going on. We have people that come into the community that aren't Black, and I'm totally fine with that, but that's not gonna make me water down my message. Yeah. The message that we have, the manifesto that we have, the people that we serve are still gonna continue to be the same.
The thing I loved about your manifesto is the last line where you said something to the effect, we don't expect business because we're Black. We expect business because excellent. I love that. And I've used that many years. And when I read it on your site, I said, man, I love what they're doing. So once again, kudos on what you're doing. Looking forward to seeing what happens in the future and possibly collaborating in the future as well.
Thank you, we appreciate it.
Today, we're blessed to have some amazing founders here. The founders of Nightlight Pediatric Urgent Care, which was the first urgent care facility for youth in the city of Houston. They're tremendous entrepreneurs, have done a phenomenal job, and have been tremendous friends for many years. So today, we're welcoming Zawadi Bryan and Dr. Anastasia Jennings. Thank you for coming to join us here at What is Rich.
Thanks for having us. Thank you.
Now, the Houston Chronicle did an article where they said that it takes $2.3 million to be considered wealthy. And that was according to Houstonians that participated in a Charles Schwab survey. So the first question, and I'll ask you each individually, what is rich to you? Zawadi?
I think to me, what I would define it as of now is the level of comfort and access. Because having traveled around the world and looked at different conditions and how people live, I don't think it's just monetary in my eyes anymore. It's not about dollars and what you have in the bank. To me, it's a level of comfort and access. And I feel I'm at a level where I would say I'm rich today.
Now, Dr. Jones, how would you define rich?
So again, similar to Zawadi, I was thinking that it was dollars and, bling. And when I thought about the whole journey that we took with Nightlight, I feel like, one, I can do what I want to do now. Like a lot of people come to me now and say, why are you still working? And I say, because I actually love what I do, but now I can do it when I want to and how I want to. So that to me is rich. That you cannot buy. That's priceless.
Now, it's interesting because I'm gonna say were a doctor, but you are a doctor.
I am.
But you were a doctor when y'all founded Nightlight. Mm-hmm. So you were already making pretty good money, I would assume. Mm-hmm. So what was it that prompted you to start Nightlight?
I just wanted to do what I wanted to do. I did primary care, which is where you go to your regular doctor. And for pediatricians, that's giving a lot of shots, a lot of well checks. And I was like, okay, I can't do this for 20 years. And then I went into the emergency room, and that was a little too much adrenaline for me. And I wanted something in between. And this is back in 2007 when nobody was doing urgent care. So it wasn't a thing. And I said, all these people that are sitting in this emergency room with me at 2:00 in the morning, we could do this better. This could be done better. So there could be a better way. So I went to my friend here who was going to church with me. And I said, I don't know business. I know what I don't know. Can you come help me? Can you come look at this business plan that I have or business idea? And she, graciously said, let me look at it. And she thought it was a good idea to have something that was open after hours where people could go to.
Now, Zawadi, so tell me when Dr. Gentles brought you the business idea, one, what were you doing at the time? And what did you think about the idea?
Yeah, I had no idea. I didn't have healthcare experience. I didn't have children. So at the time, I didn't realize what a huge asset that was to be able to take your children somewhere at night other than the emergency room. And so when we did our survey, part of the business plan process, we surveyed pediatricians, we surveyed parents. They were like, this is an amazing idea. And we were able to put dollars and cents to it, and it made sense. Like they said, it penciled out. There was a profit at the end of the day. So I was like, let's do it.
Yeah. Now, where did you guys come up with your startup funds? How did you get the business off the ground?
So and that was an interesting process because a lot of people didn't see the value in it. And then we kind of shopped it around to different banks, and we found a woman who had kids who said, this is brilliant. So she actually, a smaller bank, she actually said, this is a great idea. Let's do this.
Now, one of the things that I'm intrigued about you guys is the partnership that you have. How did that work? Because, they say most businesses, primarily minority owned, they're solopreneurs and they have like less than one employee or two employees, something like that. But you guys, one, became partners, and y'all ultimately grew to 100, 180, I think, about the height of the number employees. So how did that work? How did you guys work the partnership?
The fact that we didn't, there wasn't a conflict of who was doing what. It was very clear. She does medicine, I do business. And then our third partner, Connie, she did a lot of the legwork. Like, she would get a plan and she would just implement that thing to death and just, from the beginning to the end. So it was a partnership based on mutual respect and faith and honesty, and the fact that we all had our very specific roles.
Yeah. No, so talk about Connie. She's not here today, but you came up with the idea, you went to Zawadi, and then where did Connie come in the picture?
So I worked with Connie at Texas Children's in the beginning of this whole thing, and I just noticed that she was a very hard worker, like one of those people that you can give something and they will, an executor. She'll get it done, and she will not complain. She will get it done. So I told her, I was like, you need to come and be a business partner with us.
So Zawadi, starting out, you guys brought on Connie, you launched in Sugarland. Talk about the early years and how you grew the business.
We got a small spot. It was 4 exam rooms, 1 little bitty lab. And I worked there at night. She worked there at night. We both had day jobs. And Connie was the only one of the partners that was there full-time. She worked full-time. Within 6 months, we started seeing the line out the door. And so I was like, okay, we gotta start finding more space. Yeah. So it just started to pick up, and people started to know about us, for one, through the Texas Black Expo.
Now, you guys grew pretty quickly, at least from my perspective. So talk about your growth, and I don't want to diminish your business at all. You guys were pretty substantial. Talk about where you were and the point where you got before you guys sold.
We actually got approached by Texas Children's Health Plan, and this is an insurance company, because they were on board too. We were thinking parents and pediatricians, but the insurance companies were like, wait, what's going on over here? And they were like, if you will put a location up north in this location where we need you, we will pay for it. And we were like, no, we don't want to go up there. And they're like, well, we will give you this amount of money. And we're like, okay, we'll do that. We're going up there. So it was really interesting from that standpoint that we got the intention of the insurance companies. And so in 2009, we opened our second location, where they asked us to open it because they paid for it. And then they had some money from the government to decrease emergency room use. So we fell into that category. And then from there, we grew exponentially, because we opened up like 3 more within, just a few years.
So you guys were doing some amazing things, and then you attracted the attention of a company out of Florida. Yeah. Talk about that and selling your business. Was your goal to sell your business from the beginning, or did it just happen?
Yeah, it's funny, because when we went into the business, at least from my perspective, the end goal wasn't to sell. It was just to grow her idea, like make this available, this great asset to parents and to kids, so they didn't have to go to the emergency room. And then in October, I get this call from a guy in a company we had never heard of. Come to find out, this gentleman and I are on the same board, and he was like, hey, I got your number from, a fellow board member. We're coming down to Houston to check on our business. We'd love to have lunch with you to have a conversation about buying your business. And we were like, what? So I tell people, keep your options open. We had said we weren't gonna sell the business, but this was another opportunity that came our way. So I would say the reason why we sold the business, because again, we realized we had an asset that was worth something that's to someone else. And when we looked at the offer, it was a good offer. It wasn't as high. And I think it's because healthcare really took some knocks after COVID. Like, it was shaky. People were like, what is this healthcare environment? How valuable is a service line it's risky because it has all of these. So it was all these factors. So I would say in hindsight, we talk about this all the time. Knowing what I know now, we probably may have kept the business, maybe. In my mind, she's like, I'm good.
That's like you the one who was working the business.
I was in the trenches.
Are you open to sharing? When did you ultimately sell the business?
We sold it for $10 million. Yeah. Which was the multiple of the EBITDA. And I think at the time, again, I think knowing what I know now, I wouldn't have sold it, but I have partners that I would have conferred with. But I think we had more of an asset knowing what the offers were that we got in February.
Congratulations on all your success, and best of luck in the future.
Yeah. Thank you.
our financial plan was kind of going around the room with the kids and asking them like what they thought about the business and hearing them say positive words, you know, about the viewpoint of the business that they never told us directly.
Yeah.
Because again, I think a lot of times as parents, you're pouring into your kids and you hope that they picking it up. And then they do stuff for you like, nah, they ain't picking up none of this I'm talking about, right? But then every now and then you get a glimpse that it's landing.
Yeah.
That it's making sense. And for me, that was one of those moments.
Yeah, I'm happy about that. We call them the family governance meetings, and just going over our trust, like bit by bit, like what does it mean, and introducing them to financial concepts and things like that. So I'm happy about that.